sorry, I don't know. I don't even know what time it is here. We don't open the blinds much in this household. Anyway, so I'm finally getting to that Q&A that I promised you guys like 1 week ago. Some technical difficulties have presented themselves and I haven't had time, and I apologize. The same applies to all my other videos. I promise I will get back to a regular schedule soon. Life is getting in the way of having a YouTube channel, and again, I apologize. So I'm gonna go ahead and get the show on the road with the Q&A because I wasn't expecting to get a lot of responses, and I did. So I'm not gonna promise that I'm gonna be able to get to all of them, but I'm going to try. I even opened the Ask Box. For a few extra minutes while I was getting ready this morning to get a couple more. I don't know why. I make bad choices. Sorry. And the only 2 submissions I got, one was from an anonymous and one was from Mr. Creepypasta, who asked, does your hair taste like strawberries? And to which I'm gonna respond, I will kill you. Alright, and with that being completely out of the way, let's go ahead and move on to the other Q's of the Q&A. I don't know that I'm going to be able to call out names on all of them either, because I'm not very super awesome with pronunciation. So we'll go with the first one, and the first question is, do you sing? And the short answer to that is no. Well, okay, I should probably preface with yes, but not well. I was not gifted with that ability. For a Q&A, another anonymous, did you and Junior meet through the CPN, or did you already know each other in real life? We did meet not through the CPN, but through the original Creepypasta forums. Funny story. Junior was the first original I Hate Miss Shadow Lovely anti-fan boy? I don't know. He started a whole I Hate Miss Shadow Lovely thread on the Creepypasta forum because I had done a podcast with a group of podcasters named Sorrow Mine, and one of the questions was, what is your best advice for up-and-coming narrators? And this was like 3 years ago. And I was like, quality over quantity. And I was like, there's so many people out there who are just doing it to be popular and just using their Xbox mics and da-da-da-da. And for some reason, he thought I was talking directly to him. I had no idea who he was, and that made him even more angry because when it came time for me to respond to his huge, long, lengthy angst message, he was even more mad because I had no idea who he was. And that I wasn't actually calling him out. So anyway, long story short, original I Hate Miss Shadow Lovely, anti-fanboy, and now we've been living together for over a year. I don't know how that worked out either. My best friend actually submitted a question, and she did submit the question, if all Subway restaurants burn down, where else would you start eating? I think I would probably just move to a foreign country and start over. I'd become a monk or something. Like, can girls be monks? Or do they have to be nuns? Because I don't want to be a nun, but I'll sign up for the monk business because Subway is my favorite ever. I'm gonna mispronounce your username. I'm so sorry. Kielrain said, "What has been your favorite drawing that you've done so far?" Ooh, I don't really have one of those. I've recently started being able to produce better art thanks to a new tablet, courtesy of Wellhay Productions, and a whole bunch of other stuff. A lot of people gave me a lot of cool art tips. So it just keeps getting better and better. I don't really have a favorite per se. Oh, sweetheart, I'm gonna mispronounce your username too, and it's terrible because I play League of Legends with you, so I should be able to actively call out your name. Laristar asked a couple of questions. First one being, what do you like to do in your downtime? I'm actually, for as social and extroverted as I am, I really like just hanging out at my own house, in my own apartment. I like playing League and being on my computer, browsing the internet. As far as going out in my downtime, I really like going to the movies. Going to the movies is one of my favorite outings, I guess. So I get really excited when good movies are out, and I get really depressed when there's nothing good in theaters. If you had one superpower, what would it be? That's a tough one. It's honestly an even tie between telekinesis and pyrokinesis, because I would really like to be able to move things with my mind and levitate, but on the other hand, I would also really like to be able to set things on fire with my mind. Like, it's really neck and neck. And then she asked if I would play League with her, and of course I never say, well, okay, I won't say I never say no to a League match, because sometimes I have like people, I have some of you on my friends list who are like level 5,000, and they're like, hey, you want to play this like super hardcore ranked match where we get to pick your character that you've never played before and you're probably really awful with? And I'm like, dude, no, you don't need that in your life. You don't need me in your life with that. Now, pardon me. Oh dear, this guy submitted quite a few questions. Gabriel Morley asked, do you like the UK? I don't have an opinion of the UK because I've never been there. The next question, what tip of microphone are you using in your videos? I think that was supposed to mean what type of microphone am I using in my videos. In like this video right now, I'm using my webcam microphone, so I really don't honestly know if it's recording well or not, because I've never actually used this webcam microphone. But when I record actual videos, I use Junior's Snowball mic. He also asked, have you watched The Thing 1968 and played Team Fortress 2? If you're asking if I've done those two things at the same time, the answer is no. Okay. Jocelyn Cabrera asked, would you ever give feedback to a person attempting to write a creepypasta? Would you ever narrate a creepypasta written by someone who hasn't been published on the official website? Oh yeah. Oh, like most of the stories I read, unless I'm just being incredibly lazy that day, don't come off of the main site. Some of the best stories I've ever read actually have nothing to do with creepypasta. I mean, like, they're scary stories. And as far as giving feedback to a person attempting to write a creepypasta, I get in trouble a lot when people ask me for feedback, because when I respond, it really seems like I don't care. Like, I'm just kind of blowing people off, like, I don't have time, because I do say that I don't have time, and a lot of the time that's true. I really don't have a lot of free time as a human being. I work like 10 to 12 hour days, 5 days a week, and then my weekends are usually just jam-packed with all the things I didn't get to do during the week because I was working. So a lot of it has to do with not having time. So if you have in the past asked me for feedback on a story or a video, and I either didn't respond, or I told you I'm sorry I don't have time, or I said I'd look at it later and then I never looked at it, I really do apologize. It's just, I got a lot on my plate right now, and hopefully someday that changes, and if it does, I promise that I will get way better at actually trying to help people out. In fact, I may, with this new awesome webcam, I may start doing some like tutorial vlogs and whatnot. But the other part of it is, I really am bad at giving advice on like writing stories and narrating and whatnot, because like my stories, especially the ones that are really popular, like Brother Dear Sister Dear, or You're Not Scared Right, when I wrote those, it wasn't like something that I worked at. I didn't really put in a lot of effort, if that made any sense. Like, I just kind of did it. I don't really know how to explain to someone else how to do it, because I didn't really think about doing it, I just did it. Same with narrating. I didn't practice, nothing. I just decided, hey, one day I really like voice acting and I really like scary stories, I'm gonna do the two of them together. And so I would love to be able to provide the people who look up to me with really great, awesome advice, but myself personally, I don't feel like I could provide the appropriate advice to be able to properly help people get better. My advice consistently is always only do it if you love it, and the moment you stop doing it because you love it and it becomes a chore, take a step away. Stop, do something else. When you feel like doing it again, pick it back up, because forcing something is the quickest way to just drive yourself into the ground on anything, whether it be sports or a hobby or art. If you have to force yourself to do it, or if someone else forces you to do it, it's instantly going to become 1,000 times less enjoyable, and you're going to lose your passion for it. And once that's gone, it's all going to downhill. All right, so I spent a lot of time on that question. How did you like San Japan? Asks Aaron Rise. Rays, probably. San Japan was awesome as far as the panel goes. Our panel was amazing. We had a humongous room filled with over 1,000 people who came out to see us, and that was amazing. And I thank all of you who came out to see us, and hope to see you again next year. That was awesome. Everything leading up to that was terrible. From the moment that Junior and I pulled into the city, and traffic was the worst that I've ever seen in downtown San Antonio. No parking. We had to park like 5 miles away. We got to the convention at 2 in the afternoon. We found a parking spot after searching for an hour, like 2 miles away, in this little parking area that it took me 15 minutes to pull into a parking spot because it was so small. And like Junior had to like get out of the car and like guide me in. We do the little pay thingy, and Junior's like, what time is it? And I'm like, 2 o'clock. And he's like, what time is our panel? And I'm like, it's over at like 11, I think, I don't know. And he's like, oh cool, because we just paid $20 for 8 hours of parking, and it's gonna expire in the middle of our panel. So we're gonna get our car towed. And so he ended up having to go back like right before the panel and go put more money. We spent $40 on parking that day. It was abysmal. So that wasn't fun. And then once we got to the convention, I made a really dumb cosplay mistake. And I was wearing my Ash cosplay from League of Legends, and my boots aren't super comfortable, and I was wearing thigh-high tights as well as socks, because I usually double up on socks when I'm wearing boots because it helps my feet. Cosplay tip, I guess. But I made a mistake because I put the socks on over the tights. And I'm talking like nylon tights, like pantyhose tights. And so we get there and we start walking around. We had to walk like 2 miles to the convention center, which is hot, by the way. And Ash is a black leather costume. And so that was like 9,000 degrees walking to the convention center. But since the nylon tights were under the socks, they were causing like severe friction on my feet, and by the time we got to the convention center from walking from the car, I had no skin on my feet, the bottom of my feet. It had just sandpapered them away. And so I had to go to the bathroom and take off the tights, take off the socks, all that good stuff, and reverse the order operations that I was wearing them in. And by that time it was too late. The damage had been done. So by the rest of the day was just miserable, walking around with blister feet. It was awful. So anyway, other than that, San Japan was awesome. I won't spend too much more time on this one question. Alondra Little asks if I can give her a shout out, and I just said your name, so I'm going to consider that your shout out. And then she also asked, what is my natural hair color? What, do you tell me that this doesn't look natural? Because I was shooting for natural. No, my natural hair color is like a really, really, really dark ash brown. I don't even remember what it was like to have that color hair, though, to be honest. My hair's been red for a really long time. Sam Pygame Tub, what is your favorite micro pasta? My favorite micro pasta would probably be Snap. You can find it on my channel somewhere. I don't want to explain it because if I explain it, it's basically going to be the whole story. And then he also asked, how did you discover creepypasta? I discovered creepypasta because I was browsing a popular internet forum that rhymes with Morfan, and I was on the X board, and I found a kind of creepy little tidbit about a fellow named Slenderman. That piqued my interest, so I did a little snooping, found out about creepypasta, and that was when I was like 14. And then I've been into creepypasta ever since. I used to, literally, I was homeschooled, so I didn't have anywhere to go. I would literally just spend hours in my room reading creepypasta, just sitting there with my laptop on my legs, just reading creepypasta all day and listening to The Birthday Massacre. Shane Dudley asks, what's your favorite SCP? People ask me this question all the time. And honestly, I don't have one. There are 2,000 of them, and I don't have one as of yet. The closest thing I would say probably is, I don't know, maybe the little girl. I don't know, that one really strikes a chord with me, but I really just don't have one. I don't know, I just am not partial to any of them, really. Sorry. McGunther asks, what SCP scares you the most? Also, which one grosses me out the most? The one that grosses me out the most would probably... I didn't know my neighbors had a dog. The one that grosses me out the most would probably be the old man. Just because he looks gross, like super gross, and I just imagine that coming through my wall, and I'm not really into it. What one scares me the most? None of them really scare me, per se. I wouldn't really want to go up against 682 in real life. That probably wouldn't be too neat. Miguel Angel Gonzalez Chavez asks 2 questions. Oh, how did you start making videos? Out of the blue, or were you always interested? I used to make amateur voice acting videos when I was like 13 and 14 under the moniker XX Shadow Lovely XX for a long time, and then I shut that channel down and took a big break from it. Then I came back when I was like 15 or 16, and then I started again. He also asks, how did you find out about SCP? I honestly do not remember. Just to be totally honest, I really don't remember when I stumbled across SCP, which is weird if you think about it. Ryan Waldorf asks, any chance, since you have a new computer, that we'll have any more community gaming sessions? Yes, actually, this computer is fantastic for gaming, and it's not my crummy little, well, I wouldn't say crummy little, but my little Mac laptop, so I definitely will be doing some more gaming. Kevin Drake asks, what got you into creepypasta? I think I already answered that, actually. He also asked, any good plans for a Halloween, like a creepypasta party live stream? I don't have any plans for Halloween as of yet. I have to make sure that there's no like conventions or anything that weekend before committing to anything. He also asks, what's your personal favorite creepypasta and SCP? Personal favorite creepypasta is Out with a Bang. That is just, it's not even really that creepy if you think about it. It's not that scary, but it's one of those things that like the last word is what gets me, and I absolutely love that about it. And every time I read it and perform it live, I'm just like, when I do that last word and I do the fingers up to the forehead and I inhale to say the last word, I can just hear the whole audience like, and it's like, it's my favorite. Oh, it's my favorite. And we've already gone over the favorite SCP thing. How did me and Creeps meet? Well, if you mean like in person, we met at SeaWorld, which is a really weird, long story, and I'm not gonna go into it. But like on the internet, I met him through Junior, I believe. I really don't, it's been such a long time, I really don't remember. And then will there ever be an MCP versus MSL or Creepypasta versus MSL? I would like there to be, yeah, for sure. There was gonna be a Miss Shadow Lovely versus Creepypasta versus Litterbot League of Legends, but Creeps McPasta's computer is apparently allergic to League of Legends, and we could never get it to work, so that's probably never gonna happen. And I managed to actually get through all of those questions, which is really surprising, but it is a 20-minute long video from what my little recording thingy is telling me, and I really, really hope that the audio took, because if it didn't, I'm just gonna go cry for like the next 6 hours. So I'm gonna go spend the next like 5 hours editing this, and I'm gonna post it, and then I promise starting next week I will start putting out videos regularly, and I apologize for not doing that sooner, but I really appreciate you guys hanging in there with me. Thank you for submitting your questions to the Q&A, and have a lovely day.